Brandon Smoot. Number 32, Alex Colley. Number 25.
Good evening and welcome to Grover C. or Greg Mitchell Field inside Volney C. Ashford Stadium for Missouri Valley College lacrosse. I'm Chaz May along with Jack Smith, an attacker on the team. As we get underway, it's Missouri Valley College and Asbury University out of Kentucky. That's Jake Berg, who's won the face-off for Missouri Valley College. I'll go through the starters in a second. We had a technical delay. We lost internet there for a second as Missouri Valley College works the ball around. Starting off for Missouri Valley College and the attackers, Tyler Wilkinson, a freshman from Driftwood, Texas. Jairus Villarreal, a freshman from Mongolia, Texas. And faceoff specialist Jake Berg, who is a junior out of Snohomish, Washington. As Light works the ball behind the net, now left wing side, and works it back out. That's Ryan Barnes. Barnes scored 6 goals in the NCAA game against Rockhurst about a month ago. Valley now working right side, shoots it across, and that goes wide, and it could not be corralled, and that's Wilkinson with it now, working along the goal line extended, and he'll cradle it out. Midfielders for Missouri Valley, Dan Block, the long stick midfielder out of Farmington, Minnesota. He's a junior. Wilkinson shot just wide, and the ball stays with Valley as Villarreal will bring it back in. Behind the net being stick checked by Brandon Smoot of Asbury. And Asbury now brings it into the attack zone. And number 45, Owen Sorobi, will keep him in check as substitutions are made on both ends. Midfielders, Dan Block, Brendan Gallagher, senior out of Geneva, Illinois, and Greg Ferrone, a junior out of Orlando, Florida, as Asbury tries to work the right wing side. Defenseman Alex Albrecht, a junior out of Farmington, Minnesota. Andrew Legg, a senior from Vancouver, Washington. And Matt Heinzerling, a junior out of Farmington, Minnesota. In goal for Missouri Valley, freshman from Aguasasne, Ontario, is Troy Benedict. As the ball gets checked away, it's a grounder, blocked with that play, and it's scooped up by number 9, Andrew Legg. and he'll work it back, and Valley will reset and make its charge. And again, both teams kind of change on the fly. For Asbury University, Brandon Smoot, number 1. He's a long stick midfielder from Lexington, Kentucky. Number 3, Bobby Bennett, a senior out of Evans, Georgia. Jake Butler, a junior attacker from Massillon, Ohio. Number 8, Jeffrey Faulkner, as Asbury retakes control. A junior defenseman out of Lexington, Kentucky, Seth Urey, a 5'11 senior out of Elizabeth City, North Carolina. Number 18, Gabriel Farden, a junior midfielder from Lexington, Kentucky. There's a huge contingent of Lexington, Kentucky players for the Eagles. Noah Ansert, number 25, a freshman defenseman from Crestwood, Kentucky. Number 30, Graham Farrell, a freshman attacker from Avon Lake, Ohio. And number 32, Alex Coyle, a sophomore from LaGrange, Kentucky, as possession goes now to the Vikings. In goal for Asbury is number 29, Austin Fairman. He's a junior out of Crestwood. As the ball is loose, and it'll be picked up and brought in by Barnes. As the Vikings just did avoid being offside there. Some players running to and from or over and back to the midfield line there. Ball's now behind the net, working left wing side over to Wilkinson. He'll bring it back out. Now it's number 32. That's Carson Brzezinski. And they kind of change position. Wilkinson tried to use Brzezinski as a screen. And a little give and go. Brzezinski couldn't carry the ball. It's on the ground now and picked up and brought back out. That's Greg Ferrone with it. And he works it out to Barnes. Barnes now left side for Wilkinson. Out to Barnes in front. Shot didn't get through. No, it did get through. Saved by Freeman. And Freeman will bring it out. And the ball is loose and then turned over, goes out of bounds, and the Vikings will have the ball. On the ground, being knocked around, and then ultimately picked up, and that's Block. Block ahead now to Brzezinski, a junior midfielder out of Edmonton, Alberta. And he'll hand off to Sorobi, and they will run the offense. Joined by Jack Smith, a attacker on the Valley team who's battling a little bit of an injury, so he'll join me in the broadcast booth for this first game. So, Jack, how are things going so far this season for you?
They started off well. I was playing well, doing things well in the classroom, and then a couple weeks ago at practice, I was rolling back, trying to avoid a double, and I hyperextended my knee, actually. Oh, nice goal there by Owen. I hyperextended my knee. Nothing serious, just a couple contusions, minor rip in my meniscus, but I'll be back out there in a few days, and I can't wait.
And you called it. It's a nice shot by Owen Sorobi, the junior midfielder out of Winnipeg. And as we see it on the replay, he winged the shot in, went low to the right side of the goaltender, Austin Furman, and Valley has a 1-0 lead with 9:59 to go in the first quarter.
Goal scored by number 35, Owen Sorobi.
I mentioned the game against Rockhurst a few minutes ago that Valley played last month. That's an NCAA game, doesn't really count in the NAIA standings, so it's kind of a fresh start. Talked to Coach Kevin Totaro before the game, and he said that long month layoff the Vikings played against Rockhurst on February 3rd. It's basically, a preseason match and really doesn't carry a whole lot. A lot of adjustments between then and now. So, Jack, what have you seen from the team between that game against Rockhurst and tonight's game? And there's a shot just wide by Barnes.
Well, Rockhurst, we played a good game. Unfortunately, we lost by one, blew an early lead. But we played as a team, and we played well. And right now, we're playing not much as a team, but oh man, that was close. But we'll get it together. It's still early in the game. We'll figure it out.
Great chance there for Valley. Like Ferrone was on the doorstep, but couldn't get it home. And Asbury takes control. There's a check by Villarreal, and Barnes picks it up. Barnes rushing forward. He now runs behind the net right wing side. Will try to work it. Ball is still with Barnes. Now he brings it to the left corner, and he'll bring it out now to the left side for number 21, Tyler Wilkinson. You had that lead against Rockhurst, and it fell apart. It kind of crumbled late, but a strong showing for you guys against a pretty good NCAA team.
Yeah, I thought we had it in the bag, but just I don't know what happened. I couldn't tell you. They just put it out. I guess they wanted it a little bit more than we did. And it's unfortunate that we lost, but humbled us a little bit. Showed us that we can't give up when we're up by that much. We got to keep driving, keep pushing.
That was a shot by Tyler Wilkinson, and a nice save by Austin Fairman. Valley comes into the season ranked number 1 in the NAIA for men's lacrosse. It is the first number 1 ranking for any Missouri Valley College program since the men's wrestling team back in 2004. So a lot of high expectations for this team coming into the season. A lot of returning elements of this team from last year's team, which lost in the national finals 13-10 to lost in the finals last year in heart-wrenching fashion for this Valley team. Young up front, I mentioned a couple of freshmen, Tyler Wilkinson and Jairus Villarreal, who are playing for the Vikings as Asbury works the ball behind the net and now up on the left side. And he's being checked repeatedly by Andrew Legg, and the ball's loose, and Legg sticks that long one up and snags it, but ultimately loses it. Ball's on the ground, and a little bit of pinball action there for Brendan Gallagher, and he works it out. And here come the Vikings in transition. There's a nice pass across. Wilkinson, though, gets checked down. A good play by Brandon Smoot, and Asbury takes control and will work it into the offensive zone. The strength of the team, the experience of the team is defensive, and timeout called by Asbury. Timeout, Asbury, with 6:47 to go. It's 1-0 Missouri Valley College, and it gives me a chance to catch up and pass along some notes going into the season, stuff that I would have loved to have done, not a flag, timeout, that I would have given you at the top of the show. So, Asbury College comes into this game 0-3 on the season. They're out of the Appalachian Athletic Conference. But all the games have been very close. Lost to St. Ambrose, which Missouri Valley College will see later on this season. That was a 6-4 defeat. Lost Missouri Baptist 8-5. Played Benedictine and lost that game 9-6. That was at CBC High School in St. Louis, 9-6 feet. So you look at it, all the games, Jack, low-scoring affairs. So what do you think would be a key for Valley in terms of breaking through against what looks so far to be, through the scores in the previous games and in this game so far, a pretty staunch Asbury defense?
Just team ball instead of playing individual ball. We need to play as a unit. We need to stick to the game plan. That'll really help us out a lot. And we need to keep our composure and not do anything silly and stay out of the penalty box, and I think we'll get it done.
Team ball and transitions, what Kevin Totaro mentioned before the game. So for Asbury University, some names that I'll probably call often. I mean, you have the goaltender, Austin Fairman, who I'll talk about quite a bit. Seth Urey, who on the season has 3 goals. Bobby Bennett has 4 goals. You have the Gabriel Farden, who has 3 goals. Didier Farden, a few goals and a few assists to go along with it. So it's a balanced scoring across the 4 or 5 scorers that Asbury has had so far in the season. Again, low scores. They've totaled 15 goals in the 3 games in the season coming in, but they've all been tight. Asbury possession, that is Bennett to start, and he'll work it back now to Urey. Urey passes it on, it goes left side. And being chased by Gallagher. The ball comes now back to the right. And that's Urey, the senior out of Elizabeth City. And Benedict with it now. And he'll work it left side to leg. Nice pass. That's ahead to Gallagher. Gallagher gets a little screen from number 34, Aaron Longley, freshman out of Manchester, England. And Valley will hold. And now work as it looks like number 6, Ben Boyer, comes into play. 47, Brandon Rice with it. They work it now behind the net. That's Wilkinson, the goal line extended, back out to Boyer. Up top, high slot to 47, Brandon Rice. Now behind the net again. Is Valley looking for an opening. Just kind of staying on the perimeter. Yeah, as it comes back now left side. And they're playing catch. There's a little switch. Boyer, pass one. And a pass that isn't handled. Ferrone can't run it down and goes over to Asbury. .46 degrees at game time. It's a brisk night. There's a little bit of wind coming from the west. Fans below, and there are some fans here. It's the start of spring break for Missouri Valley College. So I feared for a minute it'd be the camera crew, the sports staff, and me talking to everyone at home and no one else in front of us, but there's a pretty good contingent, and they're all bundled up as Valley comes on the attack. Wilkinson picks it up. Wilkinson shot defended nicely by Freerman, hit him square in the cross at about chest level, and Asbury takes over. His long pass gets knocked and out of bounds, and Asbury maintains control. That was Gallagher, who almost intercepted the pass. Uri with the ball as he took the feed from Gabriel Farden, junior midfielder out of Lexington. And it's now number 8, Jeffrey Faulkner, back to Uri now, again with Farden in the middle. Uri working left side, blocks on him. Here comes a second person, the ball gets turned over, and Valley's now running the right sideline. Block brings it across, now he'll retreat and head off. Pass in the middle, picked off. I'm not sure that was ever open. Smoot had it. Jack, what did you see?
So the guy had the ball. He stepped in the crease and then gave it to the goalie, so that's in and out. You're not allowed to go in the crease with the ball. Or you're not allowed to start outside the crease and then go back in and come back. No. What am I trying to say? I don't know. He stepped in the crease, came out of the crease, and then went back in the crease.
Okay.
There it is. Wow.
Ball behind the net. Left side now, Wilkinson. Valley's been running this counterclockwise pattern a couple times now. They reverse it. And that's 34, Aaron Longley with it. And they switch positions with number 47, Brandon Rice. Boyer retreats. Slings it now out to Longley. Longley looking for some traffic in the middle. Hits Wilkinson. Wilkinson took a couple checks. Flag on the play. Penalty upcoming against Asbury. As Wilkinson goes now behind, and there's the time, and there's the penalty. And the numbers are hard to read across the field. But Asbury will be, there's an exchange of sticks as one person comes off. Asbury will be a man down. There's the start. That's Villarreal out to Wilkinson. To Barnes. Barnes fakes a pass. Shot. And a nice Fairman stout. I'm not sure that was on net, but he snagged it anyway. And that pass almost picked on the ground. Bodies flying everywhere, and Sorobi comes out with it. And whistles. And the play restarts. Asbury with it. That's leg. Here's a double. And lob pass by Bobby Bennett. Pick up another flag on the far side at midfield. As Bennett chasing, tried to get a shot on. Gets deflected. Wide, bouncing everywhere. Gallagher couldn't snag it. Asbury maintains control. Work it back up top to Uri. Uri trying to put the moves on around number 3, looks like Berg out there. And some changes. And Valley is going to be a man down. Did you see what the call was?
Looks like a slash to me.
So as the penalty to Asbury is expired. Valley's now got a person in the box, and there's the restart. And it's Uri. Now to Faulkner. Faulkner works it now right side for Butler. Back to Faulkner. Uri now working on the left side. Valley's defense really packed in there. Asbury has a lot of room to pass, not a lot of room to maneuver right in front as the ball gets turned over. And Benedict has it. Again, long pass. Valley trying to really push, work that transition. There's a pass shot up in front by Villarreal, and it's denied by Freerman. And another Hail Mary pass. This is on the ground. No one knows where it is. And Legg picks it up. Legg on the attack. Gets it knocked out. Still working. Nice feed in front. Over the shoulder behind the back shot. Freerman kicked it away. Villarreal with a shot after time expires. So we're through 1 quarter of play. It's 1-0 Vikings. Back in a minute on the Viking Sports Network. One nothing the score for Missouri Valley College. The goal coming from Owen Sorobi at 9:59 of the first quarter. Jack, just your initial thoughts of what you've seen so far from up here as opposed to down on the field from the first quarter.
Being up here is a different aspect. I've never seen a game from up here. But from what I've noticed is we're trying to push tempo too fast. too early on offense. We need to settle down, get the ball around, and run our plays. And on defense, we're going to keep doing what we're doing as we're shutting them out. And if we can do those things, hopefully points will start stacking, and our defense will keep stopping the other team.
Volley had some chances at various points in time during that first quarter. Only one of them got through. Asbury's goaltender, Austin Freerman, was pretty good that first quarter, only allowing one through. And I'll check the stats here in a second in terms of the number of shots that actually were on net during that first quarter. We're about to start second quarter as Jake Berg, All-American last year, set to face off. It looks like it's Zach Sparks for Asbury. And the face-off goes to Asbury. It was Sparks. And the pass gets sent back to Philip Workman. Asbury now in the attack. Workman trying to get it. Broken cross. Berg lost a stick. A little bit of a yard sale going on. And Gallagher picks it up. Over the shoulder flip. Didn't really know one was home. And it's a turnover, and Asbury gets it. That's Brandon Smoot. Smoot being chased by Villarreal. And forces the turnover. Valley has it. Players change. And the ball works now behind the net for Ferrone. Right side, Villarreal. Up to Ryan Barnes. Back to Barnes. Try to work a screen. Good defensive positioning by Asbury. The Eagles really tough so far defensively. And we're at 13:30 of the first quarter. That was kicked and deflected out in front. Valley maintains possession as Barn Cradles comes back to midfield, and Valley will reset. Barnes, right side, Sroby, inside to Ferrone, loses it, and Freerman picks it up, and not much pressure there for the Vikings. A pretty easy pickup for Freerman. Asbury with it. Ball's behind the net. Comes now to the left side. Being checked by Albrecht. Albrecht getting some blacks in. Smoot finally gives it up, and that's Yuri, and there's Albrecht again. Lumberjacking his way through. Yuri knocked down by Albrecht. Maintains possession. Albrecht, the junior out of Farmington, Minnesota, as that one's wide. How about that pressure by Alex Albrecht, huh?
Yeah, man, he was throwing some hard checks. I mean, as an attackman, he definitely throws the hardest checks out there. And I'll tell you what, they hurt, man. And that kid was just eating them. I bet he's going to feel that tomorrow.
I think Albrecht got one too many in there. He's now taking a seat in the box, and Valley's going to be man down. And get ready to restart here on the left side. To the right side now, behind left wing. And And work it back behind the net, trying to set up Valley's defense crammed in there. There's a shot wide, but it's picked up by Butler. They'll work it now to the back of the net. Ooh, a cross pass across the crease that Graham Farrell couldn't handle, and it goes out of bounds. But Asbury maintains possession. Farrell will run it in. Valley again tightens that defense. Behind the net, first to Butler. Now the slot, and they score.
Goal scored by number 11.
Number 11, Seth Urey, the senior out of Elizabeth City, North Carolina, evens the game at 1 with a shot from about 20 yards out. It was low, it bounced in, and it beat Troy Benedict, and we're knotted at 1. Set now for the faceoff. Urey, one of those names I mentioned. That's Tyler Wollenberg taking the faceoff for Valley. And he ultimately runs and grabs control. But Urey, one of the names I mentioned for Asbury earlier, in the loss to Benedictine, scored 2 goals, scored a goal in the loss to St. Ambrose. So 3 goals for him, now a 4th. And we are knotted at 1 with 10:50 to go in the second quarter. Valley with the ball, and Barnes will bring it back to the V, and Valley will reset. Pass now, cross. There's a shot by Sorobi. That gets deflected wide. And Valley will keep possession. Behind is Villarreal. And he lost it. Scrambled behind the net. 2 purple shirts, 1 white, and Valley maintains possession. Villarreal comes away with it again. He gets checked and drops it, and Asbury picks it up. Ansert with it. And a flag down behind the play back at the right 20-yard line on the football field. Urey has it. He hands it to kind of niftily. Ooh, a big check. Another flag on Valley as Albrecht knocks him down, and a third. There's laundry everywhere. Smoot went down in front of the left of to the right of the goal, rather, on the left offensive side, and we'll look on the replay, and flag looks like interference possibly on the first flag. And there are a number of white shirts heading over to the box for Missouri Valley. Looks like number 23 Gallagher is in there, and 28 Albrecht is back in, and
We got Tyler Wilkinson.
Wilkinson also over there. So as they're checking out Smoot just next to the goal. Valley's defense really going to have to step up down. Against the Asbury, and Smoot looks like he's putting some pressure on. I'm not even close to a doctor, not going to pretend to be one, but being helped off by a couple coaches, but being carried off or being walked off gingerly toward the sideline. So it's 6-on-3 for Asbury. Huge opportunity for the Eagles as we get set to play. And Farrell triggers. Now behind, out the slot. Yuri shot, nice play. It looks like that was Matt Heinzerling with the deflection up front. Control still with the Eagles. Shot left-handed. That shot was nowhere close by Gabriel Farden. And in comes, there's a loose ball, and they now will restart. Works it now to Butler. Butler to Farrell. Shot deflected in front. That didn't go through and out. And that was leg. One person coming bracing back on the field. To the left of the net. Shot in front. Deflected out. It's on the ground. Picked up. Yuri shot wide of the net. And 6-on-4 now for Asbury. Lob behind. Shot.
Nice check.
Oh.
Wow, how they got out of that 3-man down, I do not know.
Block with it, ran all the way down, and timeout, Missouri Valley. Golden opportunity for the Eagles. But no shots, made it through. 1-1 with 8:26 to go. As we're watching on the replay, oh, that's the foul on Albrecht that we just saw. 8:26 to go. And I want to take this moment to say this broadcast is copyrighted by the Mass Communications Department of the Communications, Humanities, and Human Services Division of Missouri Valley College for the private use of our audience. Any retransmission or other use of this content without the express written consent of Missouri Valley College is prohibited. A little delayed in doing it, but I want to send a big thanks out to Marshall, Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, Ram for providing transportation for Ken Chiava and Joe All as they make their many trips to and from Iowa, especially this week for the men's basketball team, as the winners last night 93-88 against Grandview, the Vikings of Grandview University, and they'll head back tonight or tomorrow for another game in the Heart of America Athletic Conference semifinals. Win there, and it's probably a date with number 1 seed, number 2 in the nation, William Penn. Although Penn still has a game to win against the Graceland Yellow Jackets. Missouri Valley has some wrestlers in action tonight also. After the first session, 5 Viking wrestlers were still competing for All-American. T.J. Barnes at 157, Andrew Simmons at 165, Dalton Tipton also at 165, still in the championship brackets. That's what's happening in Valley Athletics. The baseball team is traveling to Florida. Softball is on its way to Arizona, I believe. Tennis is heading to South Carolina for some action there. So as spring break unfolds, Valley's teams are everywhere. Missouri Valley College lacrosse, however, will be here for at least the start of the break as the ball, just couldn't hang on to it, and the ball gets knocked around a couple times. First it was no answer, we'll have it, and then, Villarreal got laid out, and he gets up, and Valley gets possession back as Sorobi has it. Sorobi pushing, driving, didn't get the shot off. That was knocked. Barnes knocked somebody over. Ball's on the ground, and it's scooped up by Brandon Rice. Rice to Sorobi. Now right side to Ferrone. Ferrone behind to Villarreal. Over to Carson Brzezinski. Brzezinski works it left side to Barnes, and they'll, again, that counterclockwise. They reverse and go clockwise now. Barnes running the left side toward the corner. Now behind the goal line to number 32, Carson Brzezinski. Brzezinski being chased. Still looking for an opening. Now feathers it out to Sorobi. Sorobi has a man. That ball, the pass was deflected and controlled momentarily by Asbury, but ultimately picked up by Barnes. Barnes looking on his doorstep. Pass, shot, score! He hit a cutter. Brandon Rice cut down the left side toward the crease, and he was found, and Valley takes a 2-1 lead with 6:40 to go. Rice from Ferrone, I believe, who made the nice pass. And the Vikings reclaim the lead. Good passing by Missouri Valley. Jack, what made that play possible?
Quick ball movement and Owen keeping his eyes up instead of taking that shot. He found the open man for the quick stick goal.
Sorobi with the assist on the goal by Brandon Rice. And Valley has a 2-1 lead. Berg kicks it forward. Ball's on the ground and it's scooped up. Pass again. Oh, almost the same play, but there was Furman. And the ball gets turned over to Asbury. Looks like the ref pointed to the crease. Crease violation, perhaps. And Asbury gets it. Furman with it now. He'll work it over to, there's Smoot. As for way out of the net now. Passes to the right side. Crosses midfield. Here come the Eagles on the attack. Into the corner, right side. There's a shot and they score. Just kind of stuffed it home. And that's Bobby Bennett, the senior out of Evans, Georgia. And just like that, we are tied at 2. As the Vikings huddle up and talk about what went wrong. Great individual effort by Bobby Bennett to put it home, and we're knotted at 2. Not quite sure how the ball got through all the white shirts. But a fantastic individual effort by Bennett. Set to face off. Face off, such a critical component for the Vikings' success a year ago. Berg, again, an All-American a year ago as a face-off specialist, wins it. Back to Block, and Block works it ahead to Gallagher as the Vikings change on the fly. Sorobi. The right side, that's Ferrone. Behind to Villarreal. Brzezinski. And they keep it left side now. Barnes to Rice, back to Sorobi. Right goal line extended for Ferrone. Rice, shot. That's wide. Vikings maintain control. Ferrone to Sorobi up top now for Barnes. Oh, almost made a nifty move, but the ball was whacked free. Barnes ends up with it. Barnes behind the net. The slot shot. Saved by Furman and knocked in. It's kind of golfed in. Valley Reed takes the lead. I believe that was Brzezinski with the goal for Missouri Valley.
Goal scored by number 32, Carson Brzezinski.
So at 4:40 to go in the half, Carson Brzezinski puts Missouri Valley back on top, 3-2. As they get set for the draw. And kicked forward. Berg can't get control. Ultimately, though, the Vikings do. And that was blocked. They got control. Ferrone to Villarreal. He's being chased by Coyle. Left side, Barnes. He feeds it back. That's Rice coming on to Sorobi. Right side for Ferrone. Behind Villarreal. Pass. And tried to get it through in front, but Freerman picked it off. Valley retreats, and Asbury will bring it forward, and that'll be Freerman that does. 3:45 to play in the half. And what's been a pretty highly contested game, 3-2 Missouri Valley College. In the offensive zone now is Asbury. Fakes the pass. Now comes left side, and that's Butler. Butler being chased by Albrecht. Hands it off, and that's number 18, Gabriel Farden. To Didier Farden. Yuri now left side. Gabriel to Didier, runs the right side. Ball is loose, and Benedict snags it. Here comes Valley on the rush. Ball loose. Gallagher's got it. Hits the attack zone. Here comes Gallagher. One man against the Purple Army, and he wisely decides to back off. And Valley will reset. Gallagher leaves it for Sorobi coming on. Here's Ferrone. Right side. Villarreal, and the Vikings work that counterclockwise rotation. There's a shot wide from that left side. Sharp angle shot. That went wide, and it goes over to Asbury with just a little bit more than 2 minutes to play until the halftime. 3-2 Missouri Valley College. Vikings scored first. In the first period, take a 1-0 lead, and that's how we enter the second period. And there's a flag. And Villarreal is going to head to the box. And Jack, you sided that call. What did you see?
He hit him in the hand, but, he's a goalie. You got to protect the goalies. So I think it was a slash.
So Villarreal off for a slashing. 1:50 to play in the half. 3-2 Vikings. Now the refs are going to have a caucus and see what, make sure they get the call right. And the ref talking to Coach Kevin Totaro about what it was, and I'm not sure that Totaro was much thrilled with that explanation of what's happening. They go back and they will talk again. Asbury calls timeout, so Totaro will have a longer discourse about it as the teams head to the sidelines. So again, the scoring, Valley opened the scoring. Owen Sorobi in the first quarter. That was the lone goal of the first quarter. Valley took a 1-0 lead into the second. The Eagles tied it at 1-1. Then Brandon Rice on a nifty feed scored the goal and put Valley up to 2-0 or 2-1 rather, with 6:40 to play in the half. Seconds later, it was Bobby Bennett on a fantastic individual effort that tied the game at 2. And with 4:40 to play, 4:40 to play in the half, Carson Brzezinski made it a 3-2 game. And that's where we stand now with 1:50 to play until the halftime. Valley at one point in time in this period was down 3 men. Was able to weather that storm. They're going to be down on the person here. And in terms of playing shorthanded, what are some keys that the defense tries to do?
They try to stay in tight to make sure that there are no wide open looks in front of the goal, and make sure the offense takes deep shots and rely on the goalie to make those deep saves.
And we'll see if Valley keeps it in tight and pushes that offense out for those longer shots as players come off and on. And Tataro's still having a conversation with the referee. The discussion ended for a few minutes, and then as the play gets ready to start, up it started again. And here we go to play. Uriah Trigger. Farden over to number 30, Graham Farrell. Farrell, misses the pass. And it's out and turned over to Valley. Here comes Legg. Long pass, 30 yards forward to Ferrone. Ferrone being stick checked by Ansert. And there's a shot that goes wide. And Valley with it behind now, working left side. That looks like Barnes with it, and he will wait for Valley to set. 1:11 to play until halftime. Valley making a change. Rice now on the field. Less than a minute to play now. Barnes walking. Sorobi heading toward the front of the net. And here they come. Cross field pass. That's Wilkinson, and that went wide, and they'll turn it over to Asbury. Asbury with 39.2 seconds to play in the half. Will make last rush and try to tie the game heading into the break. Barnes putting some pressure on the goaltender, and now they'll whip it across. And Furman still with it. 20 seconds to play in the half. And here they come. There's Albrecht. Slows the play down. Berg also keeping pace. Uri up top with less than 10 to play. That's Farden. Running now left side. Along the goal line. Behind the goal. And a shot waved off. Didn't count. That was Jake Butler who made the attempt. And so it's halftime, folks. 3-2. Missouri Valley College has the lead. We'll be back in a bit for the second half. About 3.5 to go, still in halftime. I'll give you some of the events going on in terms of the wrestling results that have happened today. Valley has several wrestlers in the Nationals, and Justin Smith in a 2-0 decision over Fernando Herrera of Pacone in the 285-pound second consolation round. Kenny Boyd earned a 21-3 technical fall victory over Jose Intrigo of Lindenwood Belleville, 149 pounds. That also was the consolation second round. Zach Durbin lost in a 5-4 decision to Cody Cole of Concordia. And consolation second round at 133 pounds. Let's see, Justin Smith lost 3-1 to Austin Lobsinger of Simpson. Let's see, track news. Dorothy Adams ran her 600-meter preliminary race in a time of 1:36.86. Did not qualify, though, for finals. She finished 10th overall, the 600-meter prelims at the NAI National, or the National Indoor Track and Field event. But all wrestling, again, 5 wrestlers still competing for All-American. Barnes, TJ Barnes at 157, Andrew Simmons 165, Dalton Tipton 165. Those are still, last report, in championship brackets. A couple minutes to go before the half. I'll go through some stats at the half. Shots by period. Valley an 8-0 shot advantage in the first quarter. They also tallied 8 shots in the second quarter and have an 18-5 advantage. All 5 shots for Asbury coming in that second frame. Saves by period, Asbury with 8 saves, 6 in the first, 2 in the second. And apparently, according to the stats, Valley has made no saves yet, which with 5 shots doesn't seem to make sense, but that's what the stat page says at this point. Turnovers by period, Asbury in the first quarter, 7 in the first, 2 in the second for 9 through both quarters. Valley with 3 and 1 for a total of 4 face-offs. Valley 6 of 7 on the evening. Asbury won the 1 in that second quarter. Scoring for Missouri Valley: Carson Brzezinski, 1 goal, 1 assist, 2 points. Owen Sorobi, 1 goal, 1 assist, 2 points. And Brandon Rice, a goal for 1 point for Asbury. Bobby Bennett, goal and an assist for 2 points. Seth Urey with the first goal for Asbury has the 1 goal. He's taken 3 of Asbury's 5 shots on the night. Big stat, Jack, I want to talk to you about before we get to the start of the second half. The 1 for 6 that Asbury is on power plays, and for a large chunk of time, Asbury had a 3-man advantage in that second quarter.
Yeah, man, that was huge by the stop on our defense. I don't know how they pulled it off, but they did. They're a great defense. They're very smart. They know how to get it done like that. They've been there before. It might happen again with as many penalties as we draw, but you never know. Hopefully we can pull it off, and we need to stop all these penalties. That's what's killing us.
We're starting. So, yes, several penalties taken by Missouri Valley College. Asbury's only take advantage of 1 of them, and that was when Alex Albrecht went all Paul Bunyan on the Asbury attackers. So we're getting ready to start the second half. Once again, I'll remind you, this broadcast is copyrighted by the Mass Communications Department of the Communications, Humanities, and Human Services Division of Missouri Valley College for the private use of our audience. Any retransmission or use of the content without the express written consent of Missouri Valley College is prohibited. Valley moving from right to left, and that is Berg out for the face-off. And he wins it back, and Block has it. As Berg now races off. Wilkinson has a man right in front. Villarreal couldn't control it, and Fairman just walks over to the side of the net and picks it up. Jake Berg, 5 of 6 on face-off wins in the first half, now make it 6 of 7 on the night. Asbury walking it forward. That is Fairman. Ahead, and a pass that kind of handcuffed the Eagle Attacker and Albrecht will race forward. Again, Valley wants to go in transition. Villarreal can't handle it, but he does gain control of it and works it a high pass to Barnes. Barnes, not short person, still the jump for it. He gets it, and players are coming off and on for Missouri Valley. There's Brzezinski. He is one of the goal scorers for Valley. Right side now, it's Ferrone behind to Villarreal to Wilkinson now. He runs it up the left side. Back to Barnes, who drops it momentarily. That's Yuri, who was manning on him. Sorobi, a little pass to Wilkinson. Shot in front, Ryan Barnes in the low slot. A fantastic feed from Wilkinson, and Ryan Barnes scores. And Valley now extends the lead to 4-2 with 13:34 to play in the third period. Barnes had 6 goals in that NCAA game against Rockhurst a month ago. Gets his first of the NAIA season, and it's now 4-2 Missouri Valley with the assist to Wilkinson. And Berg on the draw. Again, Asbury's been in tight games all season long. And Valley again on the attack. Wilkinson. Shot, score, good pass. That's Greg Ferrone right on the doorstep. And after kind of slogging through the first half, Valley, with inside of 96 seconds, puts 2 on the board. It's now a 5-2 game. 13:24, so 10 seconds expired between those 2 goals. And Greg Ferrone, Jack, was right there.
Yeah, that was a good look by Tyler. He looked off the one pass and fed it through as the defender was sliding. Good look, good finish.
So Wilkinson gets 2 helpers quickly, and it's now 5-2 Missouri Valley. Greg Ferrone from Wilkinson. And Asbury will, well, there are whistles and a stoppage. And now they start. 13:20 to go, a little bit of breathing space for Missouri Valley as Butler will work the right side. Now feeds it back, although mishandled by Yuri. Again, it's Butler. Butler put it on the ground for a second. And he'll get chased by Jake Berg. Ball on the ground. Knocked down, Butler was, by Berg. But Asbury maintains control. There's Gallagher working, and the ball is forced back out. Leg up top. Yuri, looks like it's Yuri, gets a round leg. Ball now behind the net for number 5, Jake Butler. Good defensive pressure for Missouri Valley. Anytime the Eagles try to get it close, Vikings push them away. Behind. Now he cuts it up. Tries to get toward the doorstep of the crease. Can't get a shot through. And that's Heinzerling, I believe, who ended up with it. Ahead now in the left side. There's a shot across the face of the goal. It goes wide by Wilkinson. Wilkinson, one of that part of that young attack group for Missouri Valley. He's a freshman out of Driftwood, Texas. The other freshman attacker is Villarreal, and he's out of Magnolia, Texas. A couple of Texans for the Vikings on that attack front. This is Brzezinski. Brzezinski fighting through a double, now a triple. Gets around them all. Still going, and he gets it in. Fantastic individual effort by Carson Brzezinski, bouncing off Eagle defenders, and it's now 6-2 Vikings. Three players he fought through, as we watch on the live stream replay on moval.edu. Not checked off the ball and then just kind of wiggles it through for a goal. And 6-2 now, Missouri Valley. That is his second of the night. And the Valley lead is 4. There's a head. Berg pushing. Still not under control. Block hacks at it, and that's Berg eventually picks it back up. Here comes Gallagher. Gallagher running straight ahead. Gallagher right in front. Shot blocked out by Fairman. Now it's loose behind. Fairman goes out, and he starts hacking. That's
Nice.
Villarreal. Nope, that's Wilkinson. Shot in front. Sorobi can't control it, and it's loose and picked up ultimately by the Eagles. Flags everywhere, and we'll stop play. There's going to be a penalty assist against Asbury. And looking to see what the call will be as the ref goes toward the table. And the unfortunate thing about the backs are to the ref, so I really can't see what the hand signal was. But, and nor can I read the numbers on that side of the field. Asbury's uniforms kind of gray numbers on purple shirts, which are the school colors, and fantastic. But for Valley's lighting and field, tough to read from that far away. Regardless, it's a power play for Missouri Valley, as the Eagles will be a man down with 10:43 to go. And if you've already given up 3 goals in the first 4 minutes and 17 seconds of the period, fighting shorthanded is probably not the way to go for Asbury.
It looks like that penalty was on the goalie.
And someone else is serving it.
No, he's serving it. Looks like on the sideline where they're
That's the
players
goal.
is
Oh,
putting on goalie gear.
so and now there's this discussion. The Asbury coach is Josh Stewart. He's in his 3rd season. Much like Missouri Valley's program, the Asbury program is brand new, relatively. Valley's in its 4th year. The lacrosse program at Asbury in its 3rd. Stewart's the first and only coach of the Eagle program so far, and the refs over there discussing what exactly happened. So there's a penalty on the goalie. Now, again, my background's hockey. The goalie never serves. So what happens here, Jack?
It looks like the goalie's serving his own penalty, and they're getting someone else to play goalie. It looks like, I'm not quite sure actually what's going on.
Because you wouldn't have an open net. That would make a lick of sense to me. So
No, I think they're just getting. I think
they're
one of
getting
their-
a second goaltender ready to go and getting nets and equipment. All right, that's probably what they're doing. So here comes.
Yeah. Here he
As soon as
comes
I get
up.
a number, I'll let you know who it is.
Looks like number 4.
And they came on, and now they're going off, and it looks like there's going to be a timeout. So it looks like James Merrill, who is the other goalie listed on the Asbury roster, will come in. I'm not sure why he wasn't ready to come in. I mean, I can understand you got to stretch and everything and get kind of loose right away.
I think he plays a different position, and you have to put the goalie equipment on.
Well, no, he's listed. Well, he's listed as the goalkeeper. So.
Oh, is he?
Mm-hmm. Asbury traveled a very short or a small roster, and as we're watching Merrill loosen up as Freeman will serve the penalty for Asbury. 6-2 the score. And there's a timeout on the field. Recap the scoring. Owen Sorby opened it up for Missouri Valley in the first quarter at 9:59. And then Seth Urey tied it for the Eagles. A couple minutes later, Brandon Rice made it 2-1 for Missouri Valley at 6:40 of the second period. And the assist from Owen Sorobi. Bobby Bennett at 5:36 tied the game for Asbury. It was 3-2 at the half. Carson Brzezinski unassisted. And then since then, it's been all Missouri Valley. At 13:34, Ryan Barnes from Tyler Wilkinson. 13:24, just 10 seconds later. Greg Ferrone from Tyler Wilkinson. 11:13, Carson Brzezinski made the goal. So we have 10:37 to play in the third quarter. 6-2 is our score. And Valley will set from the left side. That'll be Brzezinski. And we're back underway. Gallagher to Brzezinski. They have Barnes kind of in front and several players there. Gallagher loses control of it, and that's Smoot that came away with it, and he'll feed it ahead into the attack end. And Albrecht is right there.
That's a Ward.
Albrecht. Well, not a whole lot of room to move for Didier Farden right there. Once he got around Albrecht, Barnes and Legg were there. And I'm moving down the right side. And that's Farrell. Farrell being chased by Heinzerling. And he gets dropped. Ball on the ground. And a penalty. And I believe they're going to get Heinzerling behind, and everything's going to be kind of evened up on the play. Farrell took quite a shot to the right of the goal mouth, and they're going to, well, it looks like it's going to be Legg that goes off. Nope, that's Heinzerling. So they trigger from the left side, and now it's Urey over to Gabriel Farden. And they're working now left side. Hands it off Urey to the left. Valley packs it in. Now behind for Butler. Shot just wide. Benedict may have gotten a piece of it, deflecting it wide, but it stays with Asbury. And it would not have been on net. Those attackers in the offense kind of creeping in as Valley's offense comes in. Block is chasing, now to keep it behind the net again, looking for that feed out front. That's Bennett, and there's a shot, and a nice save by Benedict. Urey pulled the trigger, but Benedict was there, and Valley takes the possession. And here's Number 14, DeAndre Parks. First time I've called his name tonight. And Sorobi with it, and Valley makes changes. DeAndre Parks scooped it up, ran the right side, got it in the attack zone for Valley. Brzezinski, right side now for Ferrone. Ferrone behind the net, Villarreal with Sorobi cutting in front of him. Not much of a screen now, and Villarreal now gets to the Wilkinson. Wilkinson over to Barnes. Barnes, and some pressure's being put on him to keep him away from it by, that's Didier Farden, who's hounding Barnes. Now left side. Back out to Barnes. That was Brzezinski with it, who feeds Barnes. Barnes is going to retreat. Farden chasing him. Two Farden boys on the Asbury team, Didier and Gabriel. And there's a shot and a
nice.
Leaked its way in. The stop was initially made, but it found its way in. And Greg Ferrone, I believe, is being mobbed to the right of the goal. And the lead now is 7-2 for Missouri Valley College.
Goal scored by number 1, Greg Ferrone.
So 7:28 remains. Ferrone tallies his second of the game. And it's now a 5-goal lead for the Vikings. Berg set to face off, and he wins it. And the ball on the ground in front of him, wins it against Zach Sparks, who was opposite him on those face-offs. There's Gallagher. And he'll work it over to Brzezinski, and Gallagher will head off. Wilkinson now left side. Behind for Villarreal. A little high for Ferrone, but he snagged it. Then Barnes comes on, works it to Brzezinski. Wilkinson now fakes the pass and gets it back to Brzezinski. Brzezinski running. Here come 1, 2, 3 defenders. One peels off and is going to hound Sorobi. Sorobi to Wilkinson left side. Wilkinson in front. Oh, couldn't pull the trigger. The ball was deflected out, but Barnes keeps it. Barnes couldn't pull the shot, and Asbury keeps it up. And I believe that was Sparks that hit the lacrosse of Barnes, and the ball came out, and that triggered the change in possession. Good pressure there from Missouri Valley. 6:20 to play. That smooth, long pass ahead, and they work it up front. It's two people on the doorstep. That shot, I think, hit the post, and it goes way high into the air, and now Bennett couldn't find it, and Missouri Valley gets its leg. Ahead now to Barnes. Barnes is a couple people chasing him. They stop, otherwise it'd be offside, and now he's picked up in the offensive zone by Farden. Barnes. Left side, Wilkinson. And Valley will send some players off and on. Wilkinson with it. Wilkinson try to rush that little slot there. Gets through two people, and a whistle. And stoppage of play. Everyone's confused, including our director, Taylor Gilkey. She's confused, she says. Here we go. That's Rice to Boyer, now behind. And that's smooth, just all over Villarreal. Good defense there. Rice with it. Little jab step, and on Philip Workman. Workman held his ground, and Valley's forced to kind of work it around the perimeter again. Back to Rice. To number 34, Aaron Longley, back on the field for a little bit. Here we go. couple players go toward the crease as Ferrone brings it back out to Rice. Rice, two purple shirts chase him, and that shot on net. Fairman gets it, and he'll reset. Valley retreats, and he'll walk it forward. 7-2 is the score, 4:25 remaining here in the third quarter. Smoot, and another whistle, and yet another whistle. And we're going to start, and there's Gallagher now right side for Ferrone, and Gallagher goes off as Valley changes. Wilkinson, left side, he gets it back, and Longley feeds it up top for Rice. Rice over to Boyer. Boyer now down low to Ferrone. Ferrone behind to Villarreal. A little high pass for Wilkinson, and again that counterclockwise passing the ball, looking for some kind of opening. Longley looks, not much there. Farden with some pressure, but not. And then that's Wilkinson racing through
Nice
three
shot,
people,
Tyler.
a shot and a flag. Tyler Wilkinson, the freshman out of Driftwood, Texas, gets it home, and it's an 8-2 game with 3:26 remaining as the referees congress, and we'll see what happens next. Yeah, it looks like a slash was called. So Wilkinson
Goal scored by number 21, Tyler
gets his
Wilkinson.
first goal to go with 2 assists. And it's a 3-point night for him as we get ready to reset for the face-off at midfield. Again, Jake Berg, fantastic so far this evening. Opposite Zach Sparks for Asbury. 8-2 the score. 5 goals here in the third period for Missouri Valley. And it's one back, and Block's going to pick it up. And he'll get it ahead to Ferrone, and Berg goes off, and Barnes comes on. Also racing off was like number 13, Deere, who was going off. Barnes now up top. Left side for Wilkinson. Wilkinson tried to feed it in front to Brzezinski. Brzezinski couldn't get it, but Valley maintains control. There's a shot saved by Freerman, where I try to go 5-hole. But Freeman's there, and the Eagles now with possession with just about 2:30 to play in the third period. Barnes, boy, another Eagle player down. And I think he and Barnes got tangled up. And I can't make out the number, but he hit the turf hard. Stick went flying, and he has stayed down. That looks like Noah Ansert, and it is, number 25, the freshman defenseman out of Crestwood, Kentucky, who is jogging off on his own power. He took the stick in the chest, maybe got the wind knocked out of him. He's kind of hunching over, walking, and there went the stick down. He's not especially happy. But it appears to be okay, at least from my vantage spot, 85 yards away. Eagles with the ball. And they probably dropped it. And here's Wilkinson, 1-on-2. Wilkinson couldn't find cutting Ferrone, and he hangs on to it. And there's Gallagher in front. Gallagher! A save by Furman. Ball bounced back up in the air to Gallagher. And a wide open net for the senior out of Geneva, Illinois. And he scores his first goal of the night. It's now 9-2 Valley.
Oh, there you go, Pat. Way to flip those patties.
An offensive
Goal scored by the
onslaught here in the third
Viking
after a very tight first half for Missouri Valley. Again, it was 3-2 at the break. They've scored now 6 third quarter goals and lead at 9-2. Berg set the face off, take the face off, and they don't win it cleanly. It's kicked. Berg showing a nice burst of speed, throws a shoulder into Philip Workman. And nope, that wasn't Philip Workman. That was Didier Farden. And the Eagles with the ball. That's Butler with it now on the left side, and he feeds it back to Uri. To Farden. Just a little more than a minute and a half left in the third. Eagles, a very deliberate offensive style, looking up high, then they push it down low now for left side. And that's Butler being chased by Berg. There's a shot that Benedict got a piece of. It was wide of the net. And the ball goes to Valley. Working now to Heinzling. Heinzling pass ahead. And Block couldn't control it. Almost corralled by Smoot. Block knocked the stick and Valley maintains control. Block now to Wilkinson. And Block is going to go hustling off. And Valley's going to make some kind of change as they work the left side. Barnes circling with it now on the corner behind the net. And there's a stop. I'm not sure what happened, so looking for, there's no discussions. I guess the two referees, nope, no discussion there, no discussion there.
Maybe the clock was wrong.
Clock's not running. Clock's stuck at 1:05, that's what it is. Our game clock shows 56 seconds. The clock on the scoreboard now running down to 55.5 seconds. So the clock wasn't running, that's what the issue was. And now we're playing again. Everyone's kind of looking, and there's no pointing, no explanation, so I was not going to try to guess. As the ball comes forward,
Nice
shot,
Owen.
and a score. Owen Sarobi gets his second. And it's now 10-2 with 41 seconds even remaining in the game. Sarobi got by one defender and then just kind of slung it home. And Freierman, for as good as he was in the first half, has let a number of them go through here in the third quarter. 10-2 Valley. Leading Asbury. Asbury is in for the weekend. They play Michigan Dearborn tomorrow right here at Greg Mitchell Field at 3 o'clock as part of a triangular. Valley will play Dearborn on Sunday. That game's not being TV'd by us. And so that'll be part of the start of the spring break extravaganza for the Viking lacrosse team. And then they'll hit the road for a few games. They'll play Tennessee Wesleyan University on March 7th. And then March 9th, University of Cumberland's in Kentucky before returning to Missouri and playing Westminster on March 18th as the ball goes back to Asbury. The next home game for Missouri Valley after Sunday, and a long shot attempt as the clock expires. 10-2 at the end of 3. Missouri Valley with the lead. I'll keep going through the schedules. Missouri Valley next home game is against, it's beyond this weekend, later in the month, is against Lindenwood University Belleville. They're receiving votes in the first NAIA poll. That is March 25th. They play right away again the 26th against Lawrence Tech University. That's an 11 a.m. start, so a Friday, Saturday, Saturday, I believe Sunday matchup for Valley for those. Next TV game we do is going to be against the St. Ambrose University, and that'll be coming up later on in April. We'll do a couple of women's lacrosse games this year for the Missouri Valley College Vikings. The first time we'll do those games as the women moved off the smaller field on to Greg Mitchell Field here inside Volney C. Ashford Stadium. Heading into the fourth, 10-2 the score. And Jack, quite a difference offensively from in the third quarter from that first half.
Yeah, we settled it, took our time running plays, and pushed transition when we needed to, and pulled it out when there wasn't any to push. And we've just been playing smarter lacrosse, and it shows on the scoreboard.
And once again, Jack Smith is a sophomore attacker out of Austin, Texas, sidelined with a little bit of a bum knee. He'll be back, which say probably 10 days, you said?
Yeah, right after spring break's over.
So he's vacationing right now as the NAIA portion of Missouri Valley's schedule gets underway in earnest. Again, the Valley Vikings, they played Rockhurst in an NCAA game early in February. Lost that one late, had it until the very end. So this number one ranked Missouri Valley College team has high expectations and is pretty good, and Jack will rejoin the team after the break. Would you say probably that Westminster game would be your first game back?
Yeah, that should be my first game scheduled on the schedule, and I'm excited to get back out there with my boys.
So Smith, quite a factor in last year's national finalist team, the national runner-up. As Valley works the offense again, and that's now Ferrone right side. Again, Valley number one, the first number one team for Missouri Valley College since the 2004 men's wrestling team, coached by Mike Mockles, and the wrestlers, again, several of them are in the Nationals this weekend. And now Valley working right side, Ferrone behind to Villarreal, back to Ferrone. To Longley, to Rice. There's a shot by, is that Burridge, I believe, number 5, I think it's what.
I think that was Ben Boyer.
Is it Boyer, 6? Okay. Boyer on the move from the left side to the right. Boyer, a junior out of Peoria. Hands off Longley. Longley left side. And they get it toward the goal line extended. Now working a little behind. That's Villarreal. And they work it back up top to Longley. Longley will take it to the logo and then reset. Here comes his charge. Now goes right. Feeds. Oh, a good defensive play briefly by Smoot, knocking the ball down on the ground. Valley maintains possession, but I believe that would have been Wilkinson right on the doorstep, and a flag behind the play. And it's going to be against Missouri Valley. Valley taking a lot of penalties tonight. At one point in time in the second quarter, we're down 3 men. Did not yield a goal, but I'm sure, Jack, it's not a habit you want to get into. And he's shaking his head, so there's no audio or visual for that. Jack's shaking his head in earnest. But no, you stay out of the penalty box.
But I actually think the penalty was on them. I'm not sure what it was, though. On Asbury.
It is on Asbury. Referees are talking to the right of the goal. So it'll be Valley ball. They'll have the man advantage. My point still remains. You don't want to get in bad habits taking penalties. And there were several of them in that second quarter. At the half, the Asbury Eagles were 1 for 6 with the extra man opportunity. So that's a lot of time down short, or it's a lot of opportunities for the opponents down short. Now he runs on the field. There's a flag thrown. There's no one in the box. And we're playing. First game for everyone. And the ball now left side. And that one squirts through, deflected and tipped by Asbury, and it goes to Asbury, and they'll bring it in. 12:15 remaining in the game. It's a 10-2 Viking lead. Both Eagle goals came in the second quarter. Otherwise, they have been shut out. It was 3-2 at the half, and 7 third quarter goals. That's Smoot, who just outraces Sorobi and now gets it down the low left side for Graham Farrell. Farrell working behind the net, being chased, and now being hit by Albrecht. Albrecht gets forced to the turnover. And there's Sorobi. Sorobi throws it, and Ferrone, guy got spun around, lost his footing, and the ball goes back over to Asbury, and Greg Ferrone is not happy, the junior out of Orlando, Florida. And referees discussing at midfield. They're congressing again, and it looks like their coach is on the field at about the left 15-yard line. And I can't quite gauge what they're doing. There's an injury, or they're doing a concussion protocol, or I can't tell. No, I don't want to guess. So, but a couple people are talking to. I don't have a number. At this point. And they're going to walk him off. And it looks like number 30, Farrell, the freshman out of Avon Lake, Ohio. crisp, cool night as spring break is underway here at Missouri Valley College. Again, traditionally, the Vikings, at least as far as tradition, I say traditionally, it's a program that's in its fourth season. You know, Vikings start this schedule off during spring break week as Asbury will bring it forward into play from right to left. And that's Butler, who works around a couple players, Ferrone and Villarreal, and he now feeds it ahead. So the campus is pretty much emptied out for the next few days as the Valley gets set for its second half of its spring semester. Another flag on the field as an Asbury player got ceremoniously dumped onto the ground. And with 10:56, Valley's going to be shorthanded. And it looks like Andrew Legg going off to the penalty area. So another extra man opportunity for the Eagles. Down 10-2 with just a little bit less than 11 minutes to play in the game. Now set, and we're playing. Yuri gets it back over to Bobby Bennett. Now they're working the right side, comes back left. That's Yuri toward the middle. Yuri, a shot, bounces it, and number 33 in goal now for Missouri Valley. That's Austin DeGross, a freshman out of Apopka, Florida, with that save. There's a shot and a score by Seth Yuri. That's his second of the game. And with 10:29, the lead is now 10-3 as Yuri gets his second goal of the contest. DeGross made the first stop, but with the man advantage, the Eagles capitalize, get their second man advantage goal of the contest, and with at 10:29, Yuri with his second. And timeout called by Missouri Valley. Mentioned DeGross in the game for Valley at goal. It was Troy Benedict who started. He's a freshman from Akwesasne, Ontario. And there is, according to Coach Tevin Totaro, quite the goaltender battle. Three guys vying for the spot, and DeGross one of them, Benedict the other. Andrew Matthews, the junior out of Geneva, Illinois, he's also in the mix. And Tanner Reese, a sophomore out of Prosper, Texas, also listed on the charts as a goaltender. So talking with Coach Totaro before the game, they have options, and there's quite the competition heading into the spring campaign for that goaltender spot. And he said that is a very good problem to have going forward. (10-3) the score, 10:29 to play, and that's Tyler Wollenberg set to take the draw at midfield. I see Jake Berg right in front of me next to Yuri. Wollenberg, part of that very successful tandem on faceoffs a year ago for Missouri Valley. And Wollenberg with it. He, fresh legs running forward, gets it behind the net to Villarreal. Now Wallenberg's going to run off. Berg also running off as Valle will work the ball around and make a couple changes. Ferrone with it. Out to Barnes. Barnes to Sorobi. Now left side, that's Brzezinski. Brzezinski being chased, makes a move. There's a Ferrone out in front. His shot doesn't go through and just kind of trickles to Austin Freeman, the junior out of Crestwood, Kentucky, for Asbury. The Eagles with the ball. And work it across. That's Smoot. To the middle now. And they're offside. Yep, offsides. Noah Ansert had kind of crept across, and they only had 3 guys back on defense. And so turnover goes to Valley. He tried sneaking back, didn't he?
Who's that?
Ansert. He was kind of walking back across the midline when the whistle blew. Like, nope,
Yeah.
you have to have 4 guys in the defensive zone. And there were just 3 purple shirts back there. That's Barnes. Left side. Barnes. I'm not sure there's a pass or a shot. It was wide and a little bit wild. Valley will maintain possession. That's Villarreal. Behind now tries to come to the left side of the net. Feeds it out, and that's going to cross the center line. And, nope, it's going to go to the Eagles. Eagles with it. Farden being chased by Albrecht. Albrecht working that stick. Chasing around, really putting a lot of pressure on him. That's kind of Alex's game, isn't it?
Yeah, he likes to pressure out, throw checks. Make the person he's guarding scared of him.
So gets around him eventually, but there's another check from Barnes. And they work the ball now behind the net. And again, more pressure. That's Heinzerling with it. Ball's fed to Butler. And he's going to run into Barnes. Barnes checking toward the crease, loose in front, and DeAndre Parks comes away with it. Pressure defense for Missouri Valley when the Eagles tried to get it in close. There's a pass. Oh, and Wilkinson had Villarreal cutting, and the pass was just a bit wide. And the ball goes over to the Eagles. 7:15 to play in a 10-3 game. There's splits a double. Now gets across. Is that a flag in the air? No. Left side. Parks was there. Villarreal was there. And the ball's behind the net. Looking for an opening, and there's the ball's loose, grounded, and chipped away by Villarreal. Kind of a croquet move, and the ball goes out, and substitutions abound as 1, 2, 3, 4 Vikings head off, and an equal number come on. Oh, there was a flag. Thought I saw one on the far side. Valley will be shorthanded once again. And it'll be Didier Farden, junior out of Lexington, to Trigger, to Uri. To Bennett now. Back to Uri. Uri Looking for that shot up top. Can't find it. There's a shot that's wide and goes back toward the ceramics building, and that's Butler behind. And we'll restart. Off the angle. Loose, low pass from Bennett, and it's a turnover, and Valley takes control. Pass forward into the attack zone. Running with it now is Villarreal. Villarreal of Barnes. Back to Barnes from Brzezinski. Barnes using Brzezinski as a screen. Now roll, sets in front. Little lob to Ferrone. Ferrone to Sorobi. He has a tough time catching it. Shot and a score. And that's the hat trick. Owen Sorobi snuck it through Austin Fairman. It's now 11-3. And there was a slight pause after Sorobi got it through. I'm not sure anyone really thought it was in until Fairman went reaching back for it to try to break it out of the goal. But it's a hat trick for Owen Sorobi, the junior midi out of Winnipeg. And now it's 11-3 Valley, with just a little bit less than 5.5 remaining in the game. So at 5:24, Sorobi is third of the night. That's Wallenberg. With it, racing ahead, now feeds it the right side, and that's number 4, Alex Berry. To Ben Boyer. Boyer gives it to Rice. Alex Berry is a freshman out of Williston, Vermont. He is occupying that spot that Ferrone had this evening, and then there he is, Alex Berry. And he gets it to Aaron Longley, pardon me. Longley back to Berry. Longley as Rice parks himself just to the side of the crease. There's a shot by Berry. That's wide. Pass out in front. Shot gets deflected. And Longley couldn't get it on net, but he gets it back. They feed it back out now to Rice, and Valley will kind of reset. Rice on the charge and takes the behind the back pass. It's nifty, but a little bit wild. And that's Wilkinson going after it. But it goes over to the Eagles. Too cute?
Yeah, I mean, it was a good pass. Ben just wasn't ready for it, as it's hard to read coming from behind the back.
So 3.5 to play, and Asbury takes control. In out of the attack area. The Eagles push that right side now behind the net, and he's being chased. Villarreal. Oh, there's a shot and a score, and Jake Butler gets it in, and it's now 11-4 with 3:13 remaining in the game. Butler, just like Bennett earlier, a fantastic individual effort going around the net, spinning, and then just throwing it right through and gets it by DeGross, and he gets his first goal of the night, the junior from Massillon, Ohio. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. And it's now an 11-4 game in favor of the Vikings. Woolenberg for Valley to take the face-off. And again, Sparks. Woolenberg kicked it forward, runs by it, and ultimately controls it. Now over to Barry. Barry spins it back, and Valley's changing on the fly, and he'll feed it back to Longley. Longley to Boyer. Fed over to Rice, back to Boyer, now to Longley. Longley tried the right side, stopped nicely, and Boyer at that top and the high slot. Now left side to Rice, back to Boyer. Longley gets it low to Barry. Barry behind for Villarreal, now to the left side. And once again, that counterclockwise. Boyer dropped it for just a second, and he will make his charge. Running forward, Boyer gets by one, gets by two, tried to feed it to Barry, couldn't. Barry couldn't control it, and over it goes to the Eagles. 2:06 to play in an 11-4 Viking lead. Once again, both these teams will play again here this weekend for Asbury. Tomorrow, broken stick for Luke Burridge. He's got to run off as there's debris on the field. That's Wilkinson taking on 1, 2, 3, 4 purple shirts, and he eventually runs behind the net. So Burridge on briefly and needed a new cross. Right side now for Barry. Barry behind for Villarreal. Over to the side. That's Wilkinson. Back to Barry. And Barnes back out for some time. Sorobi. And the Vikings work it behind once again. This time they're going clockwise for their passing, to vary it up with just a little bit more than 45 seconds to play. That's Barnes. Barnes looking. Barnes tries bouncing one home and can't get it there. It stays with Valley. 41.2 to play. And Sorobi loses it momentarily, but Smoot just kind of looking at him and not a whole lot of pressure. Back to Sorobi, the man with the hat trick tonight, to Barry. Behind the net to Villarreal. Jarris feeds it left side. Now they work it back out and up top. 15 seconds to play. Barnes will just kind of cradle it and walk toward the V. And Valley will start its NAIA season with a 1-0 record, with an 11-4 win over the Eagles of Asbury University in Kentucky. So, the goal scorers: Owen Sorobi, 9:59 of the first quarter. Seth Urey tied it at the start of the second quarter, scoring. Brandon Rice made it 2-1 for Missouri Valley. Bobby Bennett for Asbury tied the game at 2. Carson Brzezinski at 4:40 of the second period made it 3-2, and that's how they went into the half. And then the offense really started churning. Ryan Barnes from Tyler Wilkinson at 13:34. Greg Ferrone at 13:24 made it a 5-2 game. And Jack waving to his fans in the stands below as people walk out. Carson Brzezinski added one at 11:13. Greg Ferrone at 7:28. Wilkinson got his first goal at 3:26. Brandon Gallagher on a rebound put it home at 2:10. And then Sorobi the hat trick at 41 seconds Strobe got a second at 41 seconds left in the third period. Yuri got one more score for the Eagles. Strobe with a hat trick at 5:29. And then Butler added a fourth for the Eagles as the teams now congratulate one another on a good game. It's 11-4, the final score from Missouri Valley College. So, Jack, hope you return to the field quickly and you have a good season. Thanks a lot for joining us. What'd you think?
It was a good game. Started off slow. I'm glad we got our act together and finally started putting the ball in the back of the net. I'm sure Coach Totaro made some adjustments at halftime, and we stuck to the game plan and made it happen and got that W.
Well, good luck to you the rest of the season. We'll be watching. Like I said, we'll have a couple more games on the Viking Sports Network later on this season as you work toward the national tournament. 11-4, here the final score. This broadcast is copyrighted by the Mass Communication Department of the Communications, Humanities, and Human Services Division of Missouri Valley College for the private use of the audience. Any retransmission or the use of the content of this broadcast with the express written consent of Missouri Valley College is prohibited. Tonight's game webcast on moval.edu is brought to you by Marshall Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram, who is providing transportation for Ken Kiava, the voice of the Vikings, and Joe Wall for all the road football and basketball games. Ken and Joe are on their way to Iowa tomorrow to bring you Missouri Valley College men's basketball as the Vikings try to advance their way through the Heart of America Athletic Conference Tournament. A win tomorrow would put them into the finals Tuesday night against the winner of William Penn and Graceland. Once again, tonight, it's 11-4. Missouri Valley College wins its home opener against La Crosse. For Jack Smith, for Taylor Gilkey, Juliana Doyle, and Matt Marino, I'm Chaz May saying good night from Greg Mitchell Field inside Volney C. Ashford Stadium.